Hello, and welcome to Spirit Rising. I'm Maryellen.
And I am Minnassa. And so, as you can tell, we're being silly, but that's how it is when I'm with Maryellen. So first of all, Maryellen, thank you so much for providing this sacred space to do this and all this stuff. Y'all can't see. There's cameras and lights and everything like that. So thank you for bringing your gift and your expertise to the center and then using that as a form of ministry so that we can get outside of our building, outside of the four walls. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And so let's also tell them that we have decided that the podcast is going to be once a month.
Yeah, that works.
Once a month, because Maryellen has boundaries and I have to honor them.
Thank you.
Even though I don't want to. No, I do want to. So it's good. Self-care.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother episode
Yes.
about self-care and healthy boundaries and things.
I'm learning.
All right. So today we're in a special time. This is still February, so it's Black History Month. We're also in Lent and Ramadan and the Lunar New Year. So a lot of stuff energetically going on. And so Maryellen had a topic she wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I've been curious because the last 2 years you've been with us at Unity of Bloomington, we have celebrated Black History Month, which is so amazing, especially considering we're a predominantly white congregation.
Hey, don't say it like that.
No?
It's an all-white congregation.
Okay. I'm like, what's truth? So to encounter that big heart in the lobby, this is big for us. And so I thought I'd ask about what is Black joy and what does it mean to you to celebrate Black joy, and why are you sharing this with us?
So very good. So one of the things in celebrating Black History Month can be all about facts. Like, there's people say, everything Black people invented went away. You'd be in a bad place. You couldn't comb your hair or brush your teeth or use Wi-Fi. And all those things are good because the point of that is to say African Americans have contributed to this country. And those are good. Then for all the things that I wanted to have Black joy versus Black struggle. Mm-hmm. So there's something like amazing like the movie of Roots. But then there's like, don't be offended. This is my opinion, right? Let me look right at this camera. Don't be offended. This is my opinion. But like Tyler Perry movies, where, the poor, suffering, single parent Black woman who always the dark-skinned Black man has done her bad. And then some light-skinned, I almost said it, Lily's know what word was going to come out my mouth, but I controlled it. Some light-skinned man with good hair comes in, it's like, okay, that's struggle. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of books are about that. And I'm in no way denying the struggle. But I wanted to focus this month on Black joy. That there is so much to celebrate. And so this Sunday, we're talking about who's my neighbor. Actually, will you be my neighbor is the invitation. And music. Music is the one thing that has brought this country together. So what most people don't know is if you had a Temptations album in the 60s, if it was sold in Detroit, you saw The Temptations, a Black group, a Black boy band. If you bought that in the burbs of Michigan, it had like some white couple on it, right? Because, all you need is a white father to come in there and say, what are all these Black men doing? So that's how they used to do that. But so even though they wanted to separate, you couldn't change the music. It didn't matter who was on the cover, it was the music. And the music brought us together. Everyone was dancing in the streets and My Guy and, Stop in the Name of Love, all those songs from Motown, and Stevie Wonder to this day. So that is the joy, the music, the freedom, the movement. I think another part of that is, so with this election, feel how you feel, but 92% of African American women voted for Kamala Harris. And there was this sort of feeling like, okay, well, this is the mess you want, this is the mess you get. Yeah. And we're going to rest and relax and have joy. Because that's sort of been, not sort of, that has been the route for African Americans. We had to find joy no matter what. So when you take kings and queens and princes and princesses and journeymen and artists and you bring them here and you treat them like chattel, there still had to be joy. And so when you got us locked in our little huts, that's where the dancing was. That's where the joy was. Even during Jim Crow segregation. So I'll talk about it this Sunday. You have the Cotton Club, which was a Black club in Harlem. And then when white Americans wanted to go, all of a sudden black folks couldn't be there. So what they did is they danced from 9 to 12, and then the white folks would leave and go home, and then all the black folks would come in. Right? But there was still joy that, okay, yeah, you can come into our place and kick us out, but you can't keep us out forever. And the funny thing is, everyone was dancing to the same music. So it's the music that drew us together. It is the music that has kept us. And so that joy we've just spoke about last week, Ginger, tore up the church, this joy that I have, the joy, the world didn't give it to me. That is what Black joy is. It's an internal, that I don't need your approval and I don't need your circumstances. My joy is from within. My joy is based on who I am. My joy is based on my lineage. It's based on my ancestors, based on what my mama told me, what my granddad told me. It's that joy. And that is something that circumstances can't control. Like, I'll tell you a silly story that my granddad did, and this is a way to introduce our special guest. So before Lily was born, that's my daughter, her dad and I, of course, were dating, and he loved my grandfather. My grandfather is an old black man. He had white hair, white mustache, white beard, and Tyrone just loved him. So one day he went over to where my grandfather was staying, and he's like, is she here? And then my granddad's like, no, she's not here. He says, well, this is what you need to do. This is my grandfather. You need to tie a rope around her waist and let her have some slack. But when you want her to come back, you just yank the rope. Right? And that is my granddad. And that story brings me joy in so many ways. I got a story about chitlins that freak Lily out. But yeah, I'm just saying that's the joy. Now, my granddad, that's right. He had his whole, granddad, I can't just be walking around with a rope and I'm on Ventura Boulevard and, they're up at Van Nuys and Paxson and Tyrone's trying to yank me back. But that joy of family, that silly story of the ancestors, and probably in his day, maybe it worked that way. But we have our special guest today, who is my daughter, Lily Bennu. And she's going to come, bring a chair.
Yeah, we'll scooch over.
All right, so what does Black joy mean to you?
Black joy is a way to resist systemic oppression.
Oh, that's true.
Because the system wants you to be down. The system wants you to be down and to not believe in yourself and to not even try to come above it all. So Black joy is having happiness within yourself no matter the circumstances. And that helps fight and be a resistance to, once again, to all the systemic pressures that we are under. So yeah, it's important to have silliness and moments of joy with your family, moments of joy for yourself. Whatever it is, no matter how small or how big it is. Doesn't have to be, oh, I'm glad I went to a concert. It could just be you watched your favorite TV show that day and whatever it is, just taking those moments for yourself to be joyous and have something that lifts you up.
So what is something that you have joy in?
Definitely playing Minecraft and my video games because it gives me a creative outlet. Sometimes a destructive outlet, depending on the video game. Music has always been a joy for me. Mother and I went and saw Beyonce last year in Chicago. Then I saw her a second time again in Las Vegas because I had such a good time. So just, music is vibration and vibration creates reality. And so being in those moments where the music's loud and everyone's in the moment and in the energy, having a good time, it's just always really fun to experience.
It's very true. And it's funny about me. I love music, listening through my stereo. But when I'm in a movie, I'm so caught up. So it's very funny. So I would come out of the movies with Lily's dad and he'd be like, oh my God, that soundtrack was amazing. I'm like, there was music? I'd come out of the movie with my sister Julie. Oh my God, that soundtrack was amazing. I'm like, was there music? And same thing with Lily. Lily, if you ride in a car with Lily, you're going to hear some modern stuff. But Lily loves soundtracks. So I'm like, listening to I'm like, what the heck? Soundtrack from Dune. Hans Zahn, what is his name?
Hans
Zimmer. I mean, all of them. She loves soundtracks. And so there's a joy for her in that. So, okay, leave now.
Thank you both. Thank you both so much for that description. And so in the choir, one morning we were all just waking up and we're showing up to sing this song that Minnassa was talking about joy that I have. And it was early and we hadn't rehearsed yet. And we were all just waking up and we're like, this joy that
Yeah,
I
it was like this joy that I had. I was like,
And I loved it because she came up and she was like, hold on, just pause. And we were like, stop. And she said, I really want you to feel this joy. I want you to show it. I want you to smile and really let it out, open something up. And we did. And it was incredible.
guys got the tambourines. I was like, what's going on? This is Unity. Are we at Unity First Baptist Missionary Baptist Church?
Yeah, we found something.
Of the Pentecostal.
It was full. It was fullness. That's
Correct.
what it felt like.
And that is really the joy of music, or even when you see that in the African American church, it's that connection to something deeper, something that can't be touched by circumstances.
And we can all connect with that in some way, that kind of concept of intersectionality. So wherever you find that.
That is
And then
we need to have a whole
to
thing
open
about
that up and to sing was like, I was almost in tears. The world can't take it away.
That is right. So that is Black joy, and that is really the concept of sacred joy. That the world cannot take it away. It didn't give it to you. And the world cannot take it away. And I am so proud of this congregation. There's so many African American Black history things happening. So I'll be honest with you, on our marquee that we have in the church, in front of the church, I wanted to put Black history as American history. But I was afraid for the safety of the building and for the congregation, because even though we're in the little blue circle of Bloomington, there are people, someone took down the LGBTQ flag from the church one day. And so I talked with the board about it, agonized, and said, I have to choose the route that keeps my congregation safe. I don't want someone mad coming into the church because of that. And so that's still where we are today. But you couldn't take the joy away, and we're going to rock it. I already told people, bring your dancing shoes just be prepared to move this Sunday. But that is what Black joy is, the saying, I'm not going to let you, this is what I thought of. Maya Angelou has a poem called Still I Rise. And that is Black joy, from the huts, from the dirt, from slavery, from everything, still I rise. But I wanted to say I'm so proud of the congregation. So many Black history events happening and different people going. And then sweet Carol, who is the treasurer, her and I were talking today. And she said, well, I want to let you know that I went to the post office and they had Black history stamps. And I thought, okay, let me get a sheet. And I got Phyllis Wheatley. She says, do you know about her? I'm like, I do. But she shared, and it was a joy of discovering, getting introduced to this new person, someone who had been lost to history, but now that everyone is mattering in history, she was able to celebrate the first African American woman to publish in the United States, Phyllis Wheatley, a book of poems. And so even like, oh yes, this is it. We are all one, and this is how we do it. We find out about each other. So, so proud, so proud. Yes, ma'am.
And talk about this special time of year.
Yes. So what a powerful time of year that we are in, always beginning with Lent for the Christian calendar, then to have the Lunar New Year, and then to have Ramadan. So Ramadan, our Muslim brothers and sisters, taking this time to do something that is so unpopular in this culture, which is to tell your body no. To not allow your wants and desires to drive you. That is really a part of that Ramadan. For a month, can I not be focused on feeding myself and drinking? Now, they eat in the night. That's the whole thing. So they're not like going a month. They have a plan. They get up at a certain time, and it's a time of fellowship. So everybody's eating, and it's this time of fellowship. It's a beautiful time of coming together. But during the daytime or during light hours, and I'm not an expert, so I don't want to speak out of hand, but to not eat, I'm going to give this time to God. I'm going to say no to my external self for a certain amount of time to focus on my internal self, to focus on what truly matters, my spiritual self, my growing. And to me, that is so sacred. And then that's also with Lent, the time of letting go, that, saying that those things that not just bring me pleasure, but I may just be doing unconsciously, can I let those go and become conscious of what I am doing. I shared this sweet lady, Mama Swain, Mimi Swain. She was saying, I'm going to give up sugar and caffeine and meat. I was like, no, Mama, you're not going to do that. Because you're not going to come into the church all mad and beat us all up because you're hungry. But so again, so it's not like giving up stuff just for the sake. It don't matter to God, right? God's not outside of us anyway. But God is like, oh my Lord, I'm not going to destroy the world today because 5 people stopped drinking coffee this month for, This is about focusing on your spiritual self, right? Taking the focus off your physical self. And what I like so much about Lent, especially as a part of the New Thought, is, okay, it is good to give up something, but let that be unhealthy things in your consciousness, your way of thinking. Yeah. I saw this minister on TikTok that said, how about give up gossiping about people, right? How about giving up judging yourself? How about give up making yourself a doormat for other people? How about give up eating unconsciously, right? So even if you eat, say, well, I love this, I'm going to eat it. Okay, eat it consciously. Be aware versus, you eat something and you notice the carton's empty and you're like, ooh, when did that happen, right? I can't blame nobody because I live in the house by myself, right? So the ghost of Gail came and ate this food, right? But again, this season of Lent and especially Ramadan is about being conscious. And this is an unconscious world. So can we be conscious of what we're doing? And then that which isn't serving where we want to be, who we want to be, how we want to be in this world. Can we release that starting at Lent and then continue to let it go? And then can we take on that which is best, evolving our consciousness, bringing joy into our lives, and then we can be that out in the world. So that's really this concept. Now, what I love about the Lunar New Year is that, again, there can be joy in the midst of this, right? This is all doom and gloom. I gave up what I want. Okay, no, there's still joy. There is still joy. And so how do we celebrate that? Oh, is Lily trying to come in?
Yep. She's coming back.
Got her red on. You can see her red.
My Chinese New Year's shoes
from
we'll
have Maryellen take a picture.
Yeah,
so they
awesome.
Oh yeah, because look, it has like a little emblem and everything.
Oh, so cute.
Oh my goodness. But yes, that there is still joy. And that so on January 1 or the 1/1 portal, I was going to do this and this and this and this and this. Well, now here I am at February 17th or 18th. Where are you? You can restart. That is the beauty of the Lunar New Year. That, okay, I didn't make it to the gym, or I didn't stop eating this, or whatever was the plan you had for your intentions for this year. Lunar New Year is saying, celebrate where you are and start again. You can set all your intentions again and go from, the Lunar New Year goes from like the 17th or the 18th to the 5th of next year. So you have a year to do it again. Wow. Right? So that is really joy. I think we get so caught up in these things, but you can start again. I mean, in my mind, the real New Year comes March 21st when we begin the astrological year. You can start again. You can say from Aries to Pisces, this is what I'm going to do. So there's still the joy in the midst of releasing. I think you'll see things like, can two opposite things be true at the same time? Of course they can. Right? So I can't, now all of a sudden I can't think of a thing, but like I love you, but I can disagree with you, right? So I love you as a person, but I disagree with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So those two things can be the same. So can there be joy in the release? Mm-hmm. Yes. Right? This isn't like, I'm trying to take this cup from Mary. Okay, no. There can be joy, even in the midst of release, in the midst of letting go, in the midst of reflection. That's what I like about Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement, where you sit at home. I think they fast on that day, and you think about, what kind of person was I this last year? How can I be better? Where do I need to heal? Where do I need to be in community more? These are all times, but we're just the most non-reflective people in the world. The United States, just all about consuming. Mm-hmm. And so these sacred times give us that opportunity to reflect, disconnect, and then reconnect or connect to those things that serve us best. How can I move forward? And so that's what I like about these sacred times.
I'm curious, what are you giving something up for Lent, and how do we know what to give up?
Well, as you know, when I became 18, I can't even say it with a straight face. Let me try it again. As you know, well, when I was a kid, we had liver like once a month, some horrible thing like that. And my mother told me when I was 18, so I'm just saying, whatever, August 28th, whatever, 1981 maybe, back in the dinosaur days, or I was fighting off Triceratops and a pterodactyl. No. So yes, I always say I gave up liver and onions and I've never picked it up again. So what I try to do is to give up I do so much unconsciousness. And even I realize today that I'm in an avoidance space. I have paperwork for Gail that I need to do, paperwork for the car, but I've just been in that avoiding space. And I thought, okay, I've got to let that go. But it took time of reflecting. And so, yes, so the point of Lent or even Ramadan isn't to just give up something, it's to reflect on what do you need to let go. So it could be cleaning your garage, could be an act of letting go in Lent and during Ramadan. Clean out your car. Those sorts of things. And even to do like a 1-day fast. Now, if you're on medication and I'm not saying, but even just a 1-day fast, if you do like a juice fast, a water fast, it's important to reset. That's what all these things are doing. They're resetting. Right? So if we didn't sleep at night, we just ate and ate and ate all day, our stomach would never get that reset. Our intestines and things. So just as we have a reset every night, what makes us think that there's not a reset we need of our consciousness, a reset of our spiritual purpose, a reset of how we interact with people? You just keep doing stuff out of a routine. Here's Lily was sharing with me this thing, Cam Newton. He's a professional football player, and he has this podcast, and he had these two sisters on there, and they were just grilling him because he was saying, well, blah, 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 right? He was just so unconscious, but they were outside and able to say, well, that doesn't look right, and that doesn't look like that, right? And so sometimes we need to step outside of our routine, step outside of who we are presenting ourselves and say, is this me or not? And we are all evolving. And I always say everyone wants to be the butterfly, but no one wants to be the worm or the caterpillar, and no one wants to go in the cocoon. These times of fasting and releasing is the cocoon time. And while you're in there, we can do the work.
It's feels like a relief. It's like, oh, the pressure's kind of off. Like I can mess up and then get back on again.
Indeed.
And this concept of spiritual releasing just has more of a depth to it. Can you say more about what that actually looks like in our daily lives?
Oh, yes. Well, like the day I shared the cards. So I did one of my Calm Mind cards, and so it was the Inhale, Exhale card. And it wants me to carry it around, and I was going to pull it out today. Again, so what does it mean can you just chill out? Take that time. Right, so that's all. Just take a breath in and out. There's your reset. Yeah. Can you let go being so busy? The challenge is, can you let go of being so unconscious? Yeah. Yep. Our routines control us, but it really should be, is this serving me or not? So when Maryellen says, I can do this at this time, I honor that because that's a conscious choice. Yep. About her routines, about her time, about her value, what she wants to invest things in. So I have to honor that.
Yeah. It took me a long time to get there.
And like this.
That was that really was my, January, like, what do I want to embrace? And it was really a couple things. One was discomfort and just leaning into this moment and not looking away. And so that, that's one. But the other was, boy, I feel really burnt out and overwhelmed all the time. And so again, taking a step back, and it was actually through getting to do some interplay that I was like, I'm not going the speed of my body at all. I am pushing all the time. And so that has been my, okay, what is the speed of my body? And I don't always honor it, but it's something I can come back to. And a lot of that requires just saying no, or not right now, or
mostly to me.
Yeah, but there's a season, for everything. And
Indeed. Yeah. And even that's such a wise statement. Look at the world, right? So we've been in winter, and winter's been just doing too much here in Bloomington.
Yeah.
We had a big storm. Okay, yes, I get it. We're where the snow falls. But then, like, the snow, because the temperature never got above 20, didn't melt. It was just like, oh my God, I'm sick of this snow. Right? But it eventually went away. But even the seasons, winter is the reset. It's the time, right? The bears are hibernating. Everybody's doing their thing. Everyone is chilling. That's what Lily was saying, that she saw the chipmunks were back. That's how she knew the heat had come out, right? But again, it seems so foreign to us, and yet nature all around us tells us there's a time to chill, to be still, to reflect, to do nothing. And that's what this sacred time gives us. And I also think that in that space, you can then remember the things that make you happy, that give you joy. I shared that I was moving some stuff around, doing my best to take the things out of the house that belong to Gail, or how do we reset them? And she had this stereo. And I was like, I remember every time I fussed at her about that. And in tears, I said out loud, I'd move this 100 more times if it meant I was moving it because you needed me to, right? And I thought, I don't even listen to this thing. So I got it hooked up, and Gail got a big CD thing. And I thought, oh my God, talking about music, almost full circle back to the beginning. So girl, I was Boney James, and I got but in the midst of that, tears and it's regret and what is going on, and, regret because she's not there. And I, boom. Here's this beautiful music. So now I'm dancing around the house, right? So from that letting go, from that dark place, from that gray, all of a sudden, Boney James, yes.
Can you say more about that, about letting go? Because a lot of us are like this about so many things. And how can letting go, is it loss, really, or is it liberation?
I think the answer is yes. Some stuff you just need to lose. And I'm saying in that way, it's, as I said at Sunday, it's either the tape, the CD, the DVD, or the streaming, right? You say, get rid of those tapes. Some of us just need to lose those tapes in the back of our mind that says, you don't matter, you're not valued, shut up, what makes you think your voice matters, no one in your family did anything that's important, you'll never matter, people like you don't matter. Those are things we just need to lose and let go of. And even a good friend of mine, Janet, was saying that she was wondering why she'd been feeling some kind of way, and just in a moment of reflection, she heard those voices from her childhood, adults saying stuff that was non-empowering. Right? And she hadn't realized, right? She's a counselor herself. But again, in that quiet moment, reflecting on that. Anything that you let go, is it a loss? If it's not serving you, it's a gift. And again, you reap what you sow. So even if you let go of this, I need to be a people pleaser, I need people to approve of me, you let that go, what you actually gain is your own approval. Yeah. You're going to get something back. That is the beauty. They call it seed time and harvest. You reap what you sow, the law of reciprocity. So if you're so afraid to let go of something because it's never going to come back to you, it's going to come back to you better. Right? When you drop a seed into the ground and you plant that seed and it says corn on the outside, I'm not expecting an apple tree to grow there. But those 4 or 5 seeds aren't just going to give me 4 or 5 pieces of corn. So if you can release and sow in faith, sow in like, I don't even get this, but I don't want this anymore. So I release it and let it go into the universe. The universe says, yes, thank you. And now let me give you. Right? And people say, well, that's selfish. Okay, let's be selfish. Yeah. I want my blessing. I want my good. Like, I'm having my mom's birthday party, and she said, did you put on the invitation not to bring me a gift? I go, no. She goes, well, I said, listen, I'm not going to stop the hand of goodness from coming to you, right? If people want to bring you a gift, good. If they don't, good. I mean, at 90, she don't need nothing, right? Just bring her some money. But you know what I'm saying? Again, that whole concept, be open to receive. And when you want more, get rid of what's in the way. These are simple concepts that people have known for years. And then religion got it commodified. It's more blessed to give than to receive. Okay, but what was the context of that story? Right? The master teacher is talking about people that take. So yes, let's tell those people it's more blessed to give, to give than to receive. But those two aren't opposites, because even if they gave from a place of their heart, they're going to receive. You're always going to receive a harvest.
Yeah.
So letting go and releasing, to me, is you're sowing, you're letting go of the little to receive a bigger harvest of a healing, of a wholeness, of an abundance of that thing that you think. So you say, oh, no one's going to approve of me, but I don't care. So then you start being yourself and people go, oh my God, you're looking good, girl or boy, right? I mean, I believe in those principles. I live by those principles. And we'll be talking about it at the annual meeting, but that's a different story. But yeah. That if we understood, that's what's, I'm looking at all these beautiful trees, no leaves. If we understood, we've gotten so far away from our agrarian roots that we've forgotten what you sow into the ground brings you back a harvest. And so you say, well, what do I need to release? What is the harvest in your life? If there is minimal love, unhealthy relationships, lack financially, what do you then say, what is the seed I'm putting out? Can't let me go on over to Menards or wherever, Kroger, wherever, and get me another set of seeds, right? Come on down to Unity of Bloomington and get you some seeds of love and joy and healing, and then begin to sow those things, and you'll see the harvest of the goodness that you're wanting and that you deserve. I know it sounds simple, but it really is.
Yeah, but always harder to practice.
Indeed, and one day at a time, one day at a time.
This kind of hope to start going the speed of my body, which means slowing down and occasionally having some stillness, which always feels really good, but it's why is it so hard?
Because in this country, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Is it? Right? I see that the devil in people doing stuff. Right? I've never, if you go to a monastery, is the devil there where people are being still? No. Right? I mean, just again, be conscious to what you believe. So in Latin American countries, they have the siesta. Right? This is, again, we have gotten out of connection with the rest of the world. Everybody takes a rest. So in the American, you got to work. Yeah. For what? Right? You're asking. You're sowing. When is your time to receive? Right? If you just go plant a bunch of crops and then you never go out there and they grow and they're just growing over, what is the point of that? So being restful and quiet. There's a young woman who she wrote a book called Rest is Resistance. Just like Lily said, joy in the midst of people where there's a lot of trauma and hurt and anger, to be joyful in the midst of that is resistance. Yeah. So in a world that says your value is based on what you do, you say, I'm doing nothing. Best way to resist. Yeah. And it's, you're lazy. Okay. Right. If you said, you're lazy, you said, okay. Right. The power of that would go away right away. Right. The beauty of this podcast, Spirit Rising, is how do I let the divinity within me rise up? And it's making room for those things. It's being committed to your practices. And one of the things, I was at the BMA with this Bloomington Multi-Faith Alliance, and when the minister said, most people don't know anything about the Bible or their Christianity. Now, this is a Christian pastor saying this. It says because all they know about is what their denomination believes. So Spirit Rising, what Maryellen and I are inviting you to do in the Unity of Bloomington, is inviting you to step into your true self and allow that to rise up. And it takes sowing seeds, right? And when you can't just be I can't just come in here and throw some seeds and say, oh, good, I hope they're going to grow. No, you got to tend to them, all those things, that there is a work to making room, to allowing to grow. And this time of year is, what am I planting? What is my plan for working? How am I aiding that which I want to have come about? And then to joyously move forward doing those things. Yes, we need to be more intentional, right? Listening to my body. I have a friend who I'm concerned she doesn't listen to her body, and there comes a time where your body says, okay, I'm in charge. And that's usually not a good thing, right? So listening to your body, listening to your insight, Do you crochet? Do you like to dance? Do you like to paint? Do you do those things where you say, no, that's being lazy, right? Again, I need to be doing something that's creating something. Intention, practice, and commitment. All unpopular words in the United States of America, but part of my spiritual upbringing. Discipline, being discipled, commitment, value, doing the work. And that's what Spirit Rising is all about. We've done a lot here today. Thank our special guest, Lily. And let's just take a moment to become really present in this sacred time. In what way can I listen to my body? In what way can I slow down? Where can I commit to the practice of my spiritual work, to being the best version of myself in this world? How can I bring my talents, like Maryellen did, and make a way for Spirit to move in new ways? It all begins by taking the moment to be quiet. So we're going to do just some mindful breathing. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and then what do you say? You release it with a sigh is your words, right? So you're going to, so we can reset that vagus nerve. All right, so let's breathe in, hold, and then out. Let's breathe in, hold, then release. And one last time, let's breathe in, hold, and then release. And that feels so good. And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.